name is Claudia Fotiu, and this is our subject Rio, if you'll remember. This is for KIN 562, Exercise, Fitness, and Education, as part of my fitness education presentation. So what we'll be doing is we'll be going over upper and lower compound movements. The upper will consist of a dumbbell curl and press, and the lower compound movement will consist of a medicine ball squat. So these are some things that we want to work with our client and see if we can kind of identify any improvements that are necessary. All right, so let's get started. Good. All right, so for our upper body compound movement, we're going to do the dumbbell curl and press. Remember that one that we went through? This is, I'll kind of walk you through it. This is one that I identified that I did have a few issues with as far as performing the exercise, so I'd like to revisit it for this presentation so we can go ahead and coach them through it. So I'm going to give you your dumbbells, okay? You're comfortable with this weight, the 12?
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
And so the motion, I'm just going to quickly take you through the motion. It's going to be have your forearms supinated, right? You're going to come all the way up and then a press at the top. So it's a combination of a curl and a press. Okay. So I'm going to be out of your way and I'm going to have them perform the exercise first, and then I'm going to coach them through it. We'll do an anterior view, just like this, and then you'll turn to your side and you'll do a lateral view as well.
Okay.
Okay? And you can only a single rep is fine.
All right.
Okay, very good. Very good. Doing okay?
Yeah.
And a little breather?
Yeah, no, it's a little
Okay.
heavy.
Are you okay with the weight?
I'm good, I'm good.
Okay, and we'll have you do a lateral view as well.
Just one, right?
Yeah, just one, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay, very good. I'm going to take you through you real quick here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so a couple things we want to go over. I'm going to set these here. When you're performing it, you want to have them stand up really nice and tall and upright. You want the chest open. So usually what I'll go ahead and do is, if you mind going laterally, I'll put my hand as a kind of a cue or proprioceptive aid. I want them to be nice and tall and do a little bit of the sternal raise. So lift that chest up nice and tall. And you're going to bring your shoulder blades and you're going to perform scaption. Yep, you're going to squeeze them. You want to make sure they're nice and tall in the neck though. Nice and relax your shoulders. You can still perform scaption with the shoulders back. Very good. You want to engage the core, because a couple things I noticed in the lateral view as well as the anterior view, I had the advantage of being here, is we saw them kind of hyperextending that back to go ahead and get them to get the weight all the way up. So you want the core nice and engaged. You want that belly button drawn in. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're not arching that lower back to kind of have momentum work with you a little bit. Okay? So you want to make sure that maintains scaption. You want the abs and the core engaged. You want those elbows nice and close for that curl, and then just all the way up. And you want to make sure you're not starting to teeter.
Okay.
Back and forth. Okay? And of course, directly overhead. You want that projection to be right overhead. You don't want them too far back and too far forward. Okay?
Yes.
You want to try it again with these weights?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll have you do it. Okay? Take your time. So you have your elbows nice and close to your side. You want that core engaged, right?
Yeah.
Nice tall with your chest. Nice sternal raise. Good. And you want to bring those shoulders back a little bit. Very, very good. And core engaged. Good. So you want to make sure when the shoulders go back, they're not leaning back, right? Okay, you want that looking straight into the horizon. You don't want your head tilting back. Okay, so maybe your chin down just a little bit. There you go. Okay, so it's going to be bicep curl and then a press. Push that chest open. Very good. Very, very good. Take a little breather. You okay?
Yes.
Are you able to do another one?
Yes.
Want to take a little break?
No.
Okay. So I'll have you do a lateral view as well. So really going to go ahead and shoulder blade nice and back. So bring those shoulders back. Good. Neck nice and tall. Nice sternal raise. Very good. Okay. Really tall, tall, tall. Make sure you're not leaning back. Very good. Okay, good. Just a minute. Let's see if we can keep that core engaged. Doing okay?
Yes.
So make sure when you're coming up, you're not starting to lean back. All right?
Okay.
Let's try it one more time. Nice tall. Bring those shoulders back. You doing okay?
Yeah, we'll try again. I'll try again.
Take a break. We need to.
No, we're good.
Okay, shoulder blades nice and back. Draw that core in. Nice and quick. All the way up and up. There you go. Reverse that order. much better. Okay, I'll take your weights from you here. Okay, very, very good. Okay, so that was our dumbbell curl and press. Very, very nice job. So most importantly, you're gonna want those on places here. When you're performing it, you want the shoulders back, the scapula, you want them retracted. You wanna make sure they're not super protracted, or rounded in the shoulders. Usually I'll cue them with a nice sternal raise, kind of keep that chest up, bring those shoulders back, right? So very good. Keeping that core engaged and that abdomen drawn in, right? Because you want to be able to counter. You want them nice and stable in the core, because one of the weaknesses that you can identify most often is you'll start to see them extend in the back to help get the weight overhead. Like I said, keeping the elbows close and nice and tucked in, right? And then of course, really good job. You did a great job at controlling the projection of the weight. You kept it nice and overhead. It didn't really pull you in one direction or the other. All right.
Okay.
So very, very good job. Thanks for cueing when we're coaching things to them. Again, making sure the shoulders are back, chest nice and tall. You're gonna want the elbows nice and close, and making sure that weight is staying directly overhead. All right. So those are some things we want to identify. So for this subject, working on core, control the weight. We did up the weight a little bit. We did add a little bit of a challenge. You could see that. There was failure at one point where they weren't able to do that repetition. We allowed for a break, and then we had them continue again. All right, because this is not going to be demonstrating a progression. We're actually challenging them by adding the weight, and we're going to look for some discrepancies or flaws that we can work on. So very nice job. You doing okay?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So for our compound lower body movement, we're gonna go ahead and do a squat with the medicine ball. For a little bit of a challenge, it's a 14-pound medicine ball. So in addition to the resistance being applied by the ball, we're also gonna increase the moment arm to add more of a challenge. All right, obviously one that's attainable and achievable by the subject. So what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna walk you through it real quick. I'm gonna explain it. You'll perform an anterior view and then a lateral view, and I'll coach you through it. So I'm not going to coach you quite yet.
Okay.
It's just like we've been doing throughout the weeks. You know your squats.
Yeah.
Only with this, you're going to go ahead and you'll start with your elbows fully extended, and you're going to come up and you'll perform your squat.
Okay.
All right. Once you have that ball up, go ahead and perform your squat, and it's going to be in succession. It's going to be a drop down and up. Okay. Very good. Take a minute. Yep. And then we're going to have you do sideways, whichever side you prefer, frankly. Okay, very, very good. Okay, so we'll go ahead and I'm going to walk you through it, kind of coach you through it. One thing we want to do, yeah, go ahead and hold on to it because it's going to get heavy. I don't want you holding that in position while we're going over it. With the ball, when you're introducing the ball and you're bringing it overhead, we are increasing that moment arm. So you want to have a nice tall, do like a little sternal raise, nice tall neck and chest. You don't want those traps overactivating and pulling the shoulders up towards the ears. Right? You want to be relaxed in the neck and the chest. Again, when you're doing it, you want the ball elbows fully extended. Introduce yourself to the weight, right? Make sure you're comfortable. Once you get to 90 degrees, and you feel comfortable, you can drop into that squat and come back up.
Okay.
All right, so chest nice and tall. For the anterior view, I was trying to kind of get out of the camera's way. With the knees, you want to avoid what's called a valgus collapse. So when you came down, the knees came a little bit closer together than we'd like. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to kind of use my hands as kind of a proprioceptive aid.
Okay.
To keep those knees a little bit further apart. We don't want them collapsing in. And again, on the lateral view, if I'm not mistaken, towards the terminal end of that movement, there is a tendency to kind of shift it. I don't know if you felt a little bit towards your right side to come up. So we still want you centered through the middle. So what we'll do is we'll have you do actually anterior. And to start, you're just gonna have the elbows fully extended down here. Exactly. Your grips are good? You're not gonna have to modify your grip as you come up?
No.
You sure? You
Uh-huh.
want them? Okay. So with that, when you're ready, neck nice and tall, right? You want those shoulders relaxed, right? The chest sticking out, right? Have your shoulders back. It's gonna be difficult because the ball is gonna be here at first. Go ahead and step forward if you mind, just so we don't have this. There you go. All right. You're gonna have your feet just outside your shoulders. Good. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of have my hands, and I want you to maintain contact with my hands as you're going down to that squat.
Okay.
To kind of be as a reminder to keep them out as opposed to collapsing in. So nice and tall, right? And so if we have like a resistance band, you can put the resistance band around. So let's see, let's go ahead and have you do that squat whenever you're ready, okay? Nice and tall through the chest. Right, you're reaching back like you're sitting in a chair. You're gonna keep in contact. Yep. Very good. And up. Good. Very good. Okay. So that's one thing we can use as a cue. Resistance band as well is gonna help keep the knees out. Okay, good. And so we'll do a lateral view as well. Remember, really tall. Really, you want nice tall chest, right? Appropriate flexion in the hips. Okay, make sure you got a nice base of support. When you're coming up, take your time. It's a fluid motion. There's no pause or anything like that.
Okay.
When you're coming up, try to keep your center of gravity directly over between your feet.
Okay.
Right? You don't want to shift or lean too far from one side to the other. Nice and so you see, you don't want to start off hyperextended. You want to start off that core drawn in. Okay, bring that belly button in. You can lean forward just a little bit. Good. Now with your hips, you're gonna kind of bring your hips back. Okay, elbows fully extended. Bring a nice flat back. Whenever you're ready. And up. Very good. Okay, how do you feel?
Good.
Okay, very good. So like I said, some of the things we wanted to work with this subject was making sure they were centered, they weren't leaning too far to one side, avoiding that valgus collapse in the knees. That can be by using a proprioceptive tool, hands, or resistance band. And again, when they're lifting that weight overhead, we don't want those traps over activating and having them bring their shoulders up to their ears. All right, very nice job. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right, and we're done. Thank you. All right, so that's going to conclude our lower body compound exercise.